change you want to see in the world. You must be, because you are the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back David Icke.
Thank you. 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 Look at the muck in here. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me about the shirt. The other one smells like a wrestler's jockstrap, you know. After all this time, too much information, Dave. I know. What I want to finish on is looking at what's coming from a point of view of emerging from this crap. In other words, emerging from the mind prison that we've been put into, and therefore creating a reality that we'd rather have compared with the reality that we've been living. And breaking the spell is actually pretty much sums it up, because it is a spell in many ways, if you want to use that symbolism. Our minds have been locked in to a range of perception that gives us the impression that we are limited, that we are poor little Joe Public, I've got no power, and all the rest of it. And that's exactly where people manipulating a mass of people want us to be. And when we're looking at ways out of this, Einstein's quote, which is in many forms, but this is a summary of it, encapsulates what we're looking at. You cannot solve problems with the same level of consciousness that created them. Now, what we have in the world is a series of problems created, and then they'll change a political party or they'll move another dark suit in from somewhere else, but they're of the same level of consciousness as those who created the problem, so the problem just goes on getting compounded because we've not reached that level of going beyond that and looking at it from another direction and seeing a way to change what we want to change. So the door is spinning round in Downing Street in the White House, but no matter what it looks like, the same level of consciousness is coming in and out, and so nothing changes. It cannot. And that consciousness is from the consciousness of division, of seeing everything as a partness and all the rest of it, which is the consciousness that's been in power and has been manipulated among humanity to have and to manifest reality from that perspective, into a oneness that understands that we're all one consciousness, we're all one energy. all one mind, and therefore all these divisions between us through which we're divided and ruled are just illusions. You know, if someone got a baseball bat and started smacking themselves round the head with it, we would call that crazy, madness, insane. But that's what we're doing with the conflict in Palestine, in Iraq, in Second World War. We're one consciousness that's been set at war with itself. And when I say, and again, I talk about one consciousness, I'm not talking about one clone kind of bland, everyone the same consciousness. Absolutely the opposite of that. And one way of seeing how much we've come along the road to understanding this idea of connection and expressing the uniqueness of all possibility is how much we do that, and how much we are clone-like, just following the one in front, sticking to the norms, never stepping out of line. Now, we've become clone-like, not because of oneness, we're all the same, because that's not what oneness is about, but because we have disconnected from that infinity of all possibility, which we can play with and move around and get different points of observation from, and we're just playing and expressing and getting infinite joy from the infinite possibility that's there, and instead we've allowed ourselves to be suppressed into a fractional area of possibility. You know, so that's when we become clone-like. That's when we all act the same. That's when we become sheep. There's no contradiction between oneness and infinite variety, infinite diversity, which is what oneness is. So we can open our minds to multidimensional levels of awareness. It doesn't mean we're going to psychically bloody see everything. Oh, I've just seen someone over there, look, and all that stuff. But we are accessing that level of awareness, and therefore our point of observation of this reality is coming not from in this world. When you're in this world and of it, then you're buggered, really, because all you've got is this world to tell you what reality is and who you are. When you open your consciousness and move your point of observation, you are in this world physically, at least as a projection, but you are not of it in terms of your point of observation. And they're the people that stand out in society. They're the ones that people who are in this mode say, you're crazy, you're mad. No, he's different, because he's got a different point of observation to you. That's all it is. We're the same, but with different point of observation within infinity. There was a time when even this reality, I would say, we had this sense of oneness, this sense of connection, celebrating uniqueness, and joyous in diversity. But slowly, surely, maybe quicker than slowly and surely, our minds have been taken over and encased in this bubble, this disconnection from the great infinite into this body consciousness. And of course, when people come into this world now as what we call babies, and their consciousness enters this world, immediately the programming starts. Often it's parents programming children into the norms. Oh, you can't do that. What will the neighbours say? Oh, you can't do that. I want you to work in a bank. You've disappointed me. You want to go and walk in India. Well, be disappointed then. Sod off. You go and work in the bank. I'm off to India, mate. And this kind of symbolises, this picture from earlier in the War Memorial in Sydney, Australia, the way we've been encased and suppressed and therefore lived this false identity, this mask that I was talking about, of false identity. We are now being offered the opportunity, for not least for reasons I'll come to actually break through this. And this is not literally breaking through something. It's a vibrational freedom. Because once we open our minds and open this, because, you know, I would say that the real Trinity ain't Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. It's left brain, right brain, heart, chakra, vortex, the center, the balance point. When these three things are working in unison, we have the balance of all possibility. We have the right brain connection out into the beyond. We have the access of creativity, of seeing a different spin on life, of uniqueness, of all these things.